no moisture.
To be bringing up some bringing up some I'm going to be bringing out to y'all some new characters. Well, you're going to be seeing all of my characters are new, so you're going to be seeing these characters in a new way. Well, not y'all never seen them, so I'm going to be showing these characters, and I'm going to be showing y'all a lot of I'm bringing y'all a lot of backstories and history and stuff like that. I'm going to be dropping some tidbits on, because I'm hoping to be able to get on some Dan Frager streams, and hopefully some of the others, Dan Frager, maybe some of the Comicsgate presents on Malin, on John Malin's channel. If I can get those happening, I'm going to be dropping some tidbits. I want to have special reveals, on those individual channels. Like I'm gonna have certain reveals specifically for Dan Frager's, certain reveals specifically for John Malin, specifically for Shay's, specifically for How to Draw Comics, specifically for Michael Bancroft. Anybody, I'm gonna have like specific reveals that I'm going to have, that I'm going to drop on those live streams if I can get on those. So crossing my fingers and hope that I hope everything works out. But yeah, soon this is going to be coming through. We're going to have the universe is expanding already. It's not going to be seen in the first book, but I'm going to have special characters, or you're going to be able to see my spin-off characters. You're going to see them in the first book. You're going to see them on the campaign page. You're going to be watching them fight and show their abilities. That's another thing I had to get together, because I wasn't as familiar with these guys. As I said in this, I have let me show this. Let me show this screen here. Yeah, this one, in this video right here, I talked about Everman, Cameo. Well, they're cameo characters, but one of the character's name is Cameo. It's a female. And the third one, I didn't tell the name of that character because I don't want to give away that name. I think it's a special name, so I want to keep that name for the launch, the day of the launch of the characters. I mean, of Mike, the graphic novel. So when that happens, that's when I'm going to drop his name. I'm going to have all of those reveals. You're going to see all of the colors and everything that I've got for my campaign. The characters, they're going to be individuals. They're going to be available for cards. We're only gonna have a certain amount that's gonna be available for the campaign, but we're gonna have more. All of them are going to become available at some point in time, either for the channel, if we can get enough people to subscribe to the channel and we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll unlock a lot of cards for that. We'll have different things for the campaign, so there's going to be at least 6 cards that's going to unlock for the campaign, and hopefully depends on the numbers we get, and a poster for people who sign up for the campaign. So all of that's going to be coming back again. And yeah, let me did I lose something here? Did I do that? Stop sharing. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. So I yeah, so we got those characters, and as far as the universe expanding, we're gonna have Cameo, uh, whose origin is from another planet, not too far from Earth, and she's gonna be. I'm gonna have to say some for some of these live streams, but she's gonna be from another planet in a way. There's gonna be in a way, she's going to be from another planet, not too far. There's going to be an incident on that planet, and all of this is going to come out. Uh, like I said, during the reveals on certain streams, she's going to have a reveal that's she's going to be from another planet because some incident goes on that planet. On our planet, Earth, life comes from or was first, they believe to first come from the primordial ooze, right? So, but on this planet, it comes from this organism, and all life started from this one organism. And but some incident happens on that planet that unleashes a terror that spreads across the immediate solar area or galactic area. And in order to solve that problem, Cameo is created. So we're going to have more about that when Cameo drops, but for now, like I said, after the launch. And then we're going to have the second character, Everman, who's going to be a result of warring factions of powerful beings who are trying to destroy something, and one side wants to threaten the other side. And so in order to avoid an all-out war between these powerful beings, the side that's trying to destroy, they start using guerrilla tactics. In other words, they kind of start using a sort of guerrilla tactics, and in doing so, in order to prevent war, the other side, they start using similar tactics, and uh, and basically that's where Everman comes from. So they're basically fighting against each other in order to prevent uh, catastrophic incidents from happening. So that's basically, like I said, I'm the basics of what Everman is about, and he's going to be, like I said, these characters are going to be, and the third one, he's basically, I'm still hiding his name. He, I'm going to call him Nebula because he was created in a nebula. His origin is in a nebula, and that's a good thing because that helps to open up my universe, my might universe. Is gonna That's part of the expansion, and he's going to be in the first book. So my problem at first with him was wondering if I was creating him too powerfully, and because I kind of thought he was going to be something like a similar to, immediately when I put him out in space, I thought he's going to be somewhat like a Green Lantern type of character, but you're going to see he's nothing like Green Lantern. They're not intergalactic or intragalactic, or they're not police officers in the same way. So that the Green Lantern are. So they're not like that. So we've got a whole other storyline specifically for him, for this character, Nebula. We have the whole origin story in this Nebula and why his purpose is, what his purpose is all about. So yeah, we have all of these things working with that character. So that's those three characters. These three characters are going to be in the beginning of Might, and they're going to possibly spin off to their own books if you guys like them and you want them. You're going to have like hopefully in the second Might box, we're going to, in the second Might book, graphic novel, we're going to have a box set subscription like what Ethan Van Sciver had, and we're going to offer 3 books along with Might, and we'll see what happens with that. If you guys like them, we'll have them separate. We'll have them together so that y'all can buy them together. We'll have them separately in case you don't want them by the subscription box. We'll have them separate. But yeah, everything that you're gonna be unlocking for that campaign will be in the box, just like with Ethan. So yeah, that's what was going on with Mike, but it's gonna get bigger than that because I got characters coming in the Mike graphic novel, like Cube to the Second Power or Cube Squared. He's gonna be I think I mentioned that he's a artificial intelligence, but it's not really about artificial intelligence. So it's kind of a misleading thing. I can't really go into depth because I'm giving away everything, giving away a lot of stuff from the story. So we're gonna save some of that. We're gonna have possibly some reveals in the on the launch dates and on the live streams that we go on. We're gonna have a character called Playmate. He's a bad guy. Well, we're not sure. We're not sure if he's gonna be a good guy, anti-hero, or what right now. But I know he's a really mysterious. He can be considered a bad guy, but for right now, we just consider him an anti-hero bad guy. So then we're going to have like a Captain America character. These are all characters that will be coming to the pages of Might. We got a demigod. I can't tell you his name, but we have a demigod coming to the pages of Might. He's going to be in there. I don't know how long he's going to be in there. So, but he will be coming. We'll have another character coming. He's sort of a mix between Captain America and Iron Man in a way. Again, none of my characters are based. So when I mention mainstream characters to describe my characters, has nothing to do with how I create my characters or who they actually are. It's just an easier, quicker way for me to describe the characters to you guys. So that's why I usually bring them up. And when I do bring up mainstream characters, otherwise you'll see once Mike drops, you'll see that there's nothing comparison wise to from my characters to theirs. There might be a couple of characters, like I might have a Hulk type of character that you can't help but compare the two because they're big and strong. So I'm going to have a few of those types of characters. So especially comparing throughout the several different books, the the Nebula character, the cameo, the Everman character. All three of them are going to have their own rogues gallery of characters. So there's going to be a whole slew of new bad guys coming to the Might character. I mean, the Might universe that's going to be just to do with those three characters. And then I've already mentioned in this video, I've talked about, again, in that video, I talked about, let me see, I talked about sharing, having, oops, yeah, we talked about Mega. This is Mega. He's going to be in there. His origin is going to be coinciding with what's going on normally in the main storyline. So his origin story is going to coincide as well as Cube to the second power. His storyline is going to coincide with the stories. So you're going to have them staggered throughout the story, so they're not too much piled up all at once. So that's going to be happening. We're also going to have, I talked about characters from the Bible. This page right here is the first page of my Bible. A lot of my characters that's going to be, see Ferret is here. You see uh Taint, she's going to be in it. She has minions. A lot of characters is going to be coming in here. Turnbull, he's going to be in it. This is the first page, so this is the oldest characters that I've created. Gauntlet, right there, she's gonna be in it. She was a dude at first, but I changed her to a guy. So, I mean a girl. So a lot of these characters are gonna show up in there. They're gonna be a lot of like minions and such characters like you're gonna have minions. These guys are gonna wind up being minions and different types of characters like muscle backup guys. See, this is Blackmail. He's going to be coming through the pages, but when he comes through, he's going to be bringing an epic story with him, big bad guys, all kinds of things. So all of that's going to happen in the future pages of Might. I talked about Mega, Blackmail. We've talked about on Story Time a long time ago. We've talked about God Tomb, and that was supposed to be a free story for my Might story. We'll have a free if we hit some good goals. If we some perk marks, gold marks, or whatever, I forget what they call them. When we hit some good strides, we was supposed to be unlocking perks to where we give away a free story called God Tomb. Well, I'm folding that God Tomb story into the God Tomb is now part of the Might storyline, because there's another storyline that's going to be that involves magic people. So we're going to have magic people, and that's another thing that's going to be possible spinoff from the pages of Might. We're going to have a magic group that's going to give aid to Might and the people from time to time. They're going to specifically call them up or go there and ask them or come across them in certain battles with magical, mystical creatures or beings or whatever like that. So, and that could be a possible spin off book in the future. So, we're going to have at least um, 3 spin off characters with Everman cameo and the Nebula character. Remember, that's not his real name. And then we're going to have possible spin-off characters with the Captain America character, the Captain America Iron Man type character, and Blackmail. And then I want to eventually come out with these other characters. I want to have Young Crime Fighters League, sort of like Young Justice, but of my characters, because I got all of these young characters that I want to bring out. And then I want to bring like a comedy type superhero group called the Afrocentrics, and then another spin-off group from the Mike pages called Star Patrol. So I don't know. We'll see how that works. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot to work with. We're gonna be we're gonna we're gonna have a lot of characters coming your way. A lot of these. That's the and that's only the beginning. I don't want to have too many. This all depends on if I'm going to be able to have enough, gain enough after the first book, gain enough support and people and artists and writers, because I'm going to need some writers to come in and help and some artists to come in and help with some of these characters, like the cameo characters. All 3 of them, they're going to need artists and possibly some writers. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle all 3, because the Mike book alone is going to have a lot of characters, a lot of storylines, a lot of plot lines, and then working with the Illuminati characters or groups that's trying to control the world. So all of that coming together, we're going to have the Illuminati groups in the background fighting this war to control the dominance of the Might world. And then we're going to have Might and the substance, because that's what basically is going on. Might, he was created back in the 60s because this meteorite crashes into the planet and starts seeping out this substance that mutating things and destroying life as we know it. And the only way that they was able to stop it is by using this scientist and his ideas, and they had to create new superheroes because a lot of them died in fighting this substance. So in creating these new superheroes, Mike was born. And so they managed to just I guess render the substance inert. And in present time, in the opening sequences of the Might story, this substance is being stolen, but under the guise of these other characters coming in and causing this disruption while everything's happening, and Might is fighting off along with his group of heroes. They're fighting off these bad guy superheroes, these bad guy villains that came in to disrupt. This super secret lab gets hit, and the substance was there, and that's basically the impetus of the story going forward. Might has to find out what's going on with this substance, who's got it, and why they're interested in it in the first place, what they're trying to accomplish, and all of the things that happen. So there's so many great stories to come out of this, that will be able to come out of this storyline with Mike. Let me show. I got a few I could show. Um, Let me see. Okay, let me see if you guys can see this. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, okay. Now this is a rough. This is this is early stuff of Mike. He's now colored. He's inked and colored. This is the early stuff. I have to save this stuff for uh, the campaign. He's I'm gonna have a cover of him fighting, and I'm changed. I've changed the cape in this drawing, so it's like blowing in the wind. There has to be something. He just couldn't be just standing there like that. But I have him amongst some of the other characters like uh, Rack. Now these are just the early stuff that I did a while ago. They're all colored. Well, not all. These early ones are inked and colored. Wreck and Warhammer and Ramrod he's more flushed out and he's colored, but there's some more that I'm knocking out right now. And then we have oh yeah, she was done. Gauntlet. She was a guy at first, and I changed it to a girl. I needed some more females on the group, so I got her finished. She's magic. She has a magical capability, and and her father passed down the gauntlets to her, and she has a difficulty with some of it. So that's going to be revealed. She has some difficulties. She has her own personal problems and stuff like that. So these, like I said, these characters are going to be coming with all kinds of uh, their own issues and backstories. So there's a lot of stuff to work with, a lot of character building, the world building, a lot of stuff in here. And this is one of the cameo characters. This is the Nebula character, even though that's not his name. Yeah. But this is how he started. I was starting off with his design. So yeah, he's gonna be in there kicking ass. I've put some more stuff on his face, more design work on his face, and yeah, he's gonna be a badass. He's gonna be one of my favorites. He's definitely so far becoming one of my favorites. So look for these guys. He's like I said, they're coming. They're coming really soon because yeah, they dropping soon. I'm gonna have my campaign page up soon, and we're gonna be having everything. We're gonna be having cards, uh, trading cards. We're gonna have all of that for these characters. So look for all of that. I'm working on like I'm learning my colors from scratch. Well, I'm not really learning. Yeah, I've been practicing. Well, watching a lot of videos over the years, but I'm really getting into the practice of hands on now. So I'm desperate to learn all of this stuff and get this work out to y'all. So y'all gonna see a lot of my work. Just like I said, here's some stuff I was practicing because I was every time I come in to draw, I try to practice a little bit first to get the warm ups, making sure that I try to make sure my body forms. Just do something quick to get get the blood, the brain flowing. And I was working on a couple of nice ones with I didn't do in this one like I did with this. See, I was separating them and giving them a separate backing and everything so that you could see them, giving them a separate coloring so that you could see the distinct. I could push them behind and in front of each other. In this one, I didn't do that, so it's harder to see them in front or behind each other. So yeah, I gotta do that with this and flush it out. This is just warm up, even though when I was drawing this particular drawing, I had the opening sequence to the Mike story because they all fly in, but they're not individuals. See, these guys kind of jump out of a ship and they're kind of falling. Some of them are falling to the ground and others are kind of flying down. And this guy with the cape and this girl and this dude, this big dude right here, right there, he's kind of a big dude and he's falling, getting ready to smash some stuff. And the rest of them are kind of floating down, flying down into battle. And there's going to be, gunfire and all types of powers being dispersed up towards them as they're kind of blocking and firing back. So this is my thought process while I was actually drawing this. Like I said, this is just a warm up, but while I was, because I have the opening pages that I was working on for the campaign, and I didn't really realize just how much work that it was going to take just to get the campaign up. And with so many characters that I have, because I have at least 12 superheroes and then like 12 bad guys. But luckily, I saved myself having to design all of those bad guys up front because I put them all in like black jump suits. So I didn't have to design all of them, but I did have to come up with abilities and stuff like that. So that I can have them fighting. So that slowed me down. I figured I'd just have them be throwing this big slobber knocker, but I wasn't thinking. I was just trying to, get some drawings done and throw it up. But I wasn't considering. I guess I could have done that, but then it wouldn't have been real because I would have changed everything. I would have had to change everything. And I don't know if that would have been cool or not because, it's my first campaign. I'm not familiar with any of this stuff. I asked some questions of some of the guys, but it's hard to really get to communicate. I don't know if it's just me. It's probably me because I'm not really good with communicating with people I don't know. So I'm not a bashful person. It's just that I'm not too great at communicating with people I don't really know, and people don't really know me, so they don't really know to what they're dealing with. So yeah, so I'm trying to get all of that done. So we're working and we're getting a lot of it done. I'm telling you, we're almost ready to drop everything because the colors and everything are coming together. I'm finding happiness, I should say. I could always go back and repair anything that goes over the time. I'm getting better and better. So all of that's coming to fruition. So yeah, so that's with the Mike universe. All of that stuff is getting bigger and better. And here's, like I was saying, this is the last one I didn't get to put his back and throw a shade on him. I just was working on that crouched position with the hand up. I have to raise this arm in the background here. His left arm should be a little bit higher so that you can see that that's his hand back there. Is hidden too much. But anyway, once I once I get the shading and everything in there, like these three up top, that'll I'll get all of that finished and pulled out. This is just a warm up, like I said. It wasn't intended to be anything, even though I'm thinking of making it something now. Or as I keep including and building on the characters, I'm thinking of giving them designs and turning them into a splash page of some kind. So that's the Might universe. And then now that I have all of these characters that I'm actually designing, here's another one, a female that I was working on. There's a few that I was working on. Yeah, just rough stuff to get my eye and everything, focused on the drawing at hand. Before I started drawing Might and them, I would, just warm up, get some warm up stuff in. That's what everybody else would do. And I found that it helps if I get some warm ups done, that it helps me feel a little bit looser and freer for when I start drawing my actual stuff, the important work, get some of the kinks out. Because sometimes you get drawing and you kind of get stuck. And so, yeah. Here's another. Here's one I want to show y'all of Might. I drawing. I was going. I recorded it, but I didn't put it out for consumption yet because I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable with the completion I wanted. It took 2 hours to get it to where it is, and I felt that I should have been able to get it done faster. So maybe I should show all of that stuff because people can learn. I don't know why I'm hiding any of this stuff. Let me see. It's down here. See, he's flying out of the back. I have to do the outline. I have to do the actual line, the ink. I have to do the inking and color it, and so that it could actually pop off the background better here. Maybe this will make it easier to see. See, it's supposed to be Mike flying with his cape, and those are like speed lines. Uh, I think I'm going to have to either delete some of these, erase some of these, or just make some of the darker. See, like right in here, make some of them darker so that the lighter areas shine through a little bit more. But yeah, I kind of didn't do it right, so you can see some of these are off. But again, I've never done speed lines. You can see some of these cross because I use the perspective lines on here, so some of them the up and down lines kind of crossed, and so you can see right here there's an up and down line right in here. That's kind of messes everything up. Perpendicular lines, and some of it got caught over here with the horizontal lines crossed over too. So I'm gonna get better. Like I said, all of this is really just practice. I'm gonna get better with all of this stuff, and I'm gonna ink and color this stuff, and maybe have some of this stuff on the campaign as a card or something. But we're gonna work on all of these things. I'm doing a lot more drawing, and yeah. So with the with the whole um, stop sharing with the whole getting back to Might with the whole Might situation, we're gonna be able to see that Might is going to be a big project that I'm definitely going to be. It's going to be an expanding universe. It's going to start off, like I said before, if y'all been watching me, it's going to be a it's going to be a start off on the planet Earth in Portsburg. That's the city that might might exists in, and it's going to grow from there. You're gonna have these characters like Everman and Cameo, who's from another planet. If you guys, I see there's a few more people who's joined in. So let me see if there's any comments. Nope. Okay, so we have if you guys just joined in and y'all didn't hear, we're gonna have some new characters coming into the Might universe. Um, that's some of them are gonna be in the page, or most of them are gonna come in the pages of Might. They're going to pass through cameo appearances. They're going to fight for a little while, and then they're going to go away and maybe pop up in the next campaign. Like these three, Everman, Cameo, and Nebula, even though Nebula is not his real name, I just holding back that name until the launch of Might. And but those three guys are going to be in the pages of Might. They're going to be fighting in the opening pages, the opening 10 pages, 20 pages. You're going to see them fighting this big knockdown, drag out fight. And then later on, we're going to have other characters coming in. These guys will spin off in the second book, the second campaign. Like we're going to have Might, and then we'll have Might issue 2, or the addition to, in the following campaign, where these guys will also be offered. And then after that, like in the third campaign, there will be another character. Maybe, we're not guaranteeing because we don't want to get too big for our britches. We're gonna see what kind of artists and writers we can get to come in and help. And as we get these guys come in, if they want to be permanent, we'll have other characters. Like I said, we're gonna have a Captain America, Iron Man type. He's not gonna be exactly like, I'm just using Captain America and Iron Man to kind of give you a reasonable idea. I didn't use these characters to build mine. I create my characters from original ideas. It's just easier to explain them in this way because you guys already know about Captain America and Iron Man. So if I say that this character is not based off of these guys, but he kind of has a similar kind of attributes, but so it's basically descriptors. When I use mainstream characters to describe my characters, it's only as a basic descriptor, not as if to say, hey, well, this is how I created. These are Captain America, Iron Man analog characters. No, I don't create my characters like that. So you'll see them once I bring them up. I'm going to also, during the Mike campaign, I also want to have a couple of characters. Like I want to have some introductory, like free stuff. You'll get like the God Tomb story will be free with when we hit a certain level, and then I want to have a free book that comes where you get like just the name and maybe the drawing of the design of a character that's going to be in future upcoming books. Like I'll have like just a group of characters, say like Black Male, he will be coming up, and these characters, the Captain America type character, the demigod type character, uh, the the Young Crime Fighters League, even though that's not their name. This is just, I don't want to give away anything right now because this is way down the line. But this is how I will be like introducing them. I would say, hey, these guys will be coming sometime in the future, and they'll have drawings and their name, maybe something about their abilities, but that's it. There won't be a whole lot of extensive storytelling. But in this Might campaign, the first one, the inaugural Might campaign, I want to have like, if we reach a certain level, because again, I know my channel's small and I haven't done all of the oring that I should have. I'm trying, John Mailing. I'm trying. I'm getting back in here and I'm throwing my oars in the water. But we're gonna try and keep it up. We fell off because of different situations that happened. Again, I don't want to be burdening you guys. If y'all really want to know, I'll try to explain the best of my ability. But if I don't really want to be a excuse maker, I just want to get this stuff done. And if it comes to where I have any problems, I will let y'all know exactly what's going on. There won't be any mysteries, incidences. So Yeah, you guys will be able to see exactly or know exactly what's going on in every minute. So, but for now, getting all of these stories written up, the different characters and how they intermingle with each other, because uh, some of these storylines I've been finding are perfect to have some of my bad guys show up on other heroes, or maybe even become a main bad guy for another hero. I don't know, but right now, that Might has so many good rogues gallery characters, and along with some nice upcoming epic storylines that I'm going to be bringing to y'all. Um, we're gonna have. I don't want to tell too much. We're gonna have galactic bodies, galactic bodies roaming through the galaxy, causing problems, and these things are going to be coming up. That's why I'm saying that Might is going to start on the planet, but then things are going to happen in our solar system that'll threaten the planet. Things will happen that'll threaten the solar system. Things that'll happen that'll threaten the galaxy. I'm going to eventually grow my stories to where they're going to be expanding. You're going to be seeing groups, even though uh, this Nebula character isn't like Green Lantern. I am going to have, he's not this Nebula character, he doesn't, uh, or they don't police the universe in that they're fighting against evil in the way that Green Lantern does. So that's going to be a totally new storyline coming out with him or them, and then we're going to have other types of more along those lines where they're intergalactic guardians. So I have another group of characters coming in eventually, near the end, because I eventually want to. I don't know how long these books are going to last, as far as the Mike series, but hopefully I'm going to eventually. If I don't have it going for the duration of the rest of my life, I'm going to eventually finish, maybe 15 years if I live that long. If 15, 20 years down the line, if I'm able to tell all of the Mike stories that I want to tell, I'm going to end that story and move on to another storyline, because I've got a lot of characters and stories to tell. So, and the Bible, my Bible, my character names and all of my groups and all my kids and 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 creatures and magical beings and all of this stuff, I'm going to eventually want to spread out into some of these other characters, like Blackmail. That's one another character that I never. I want to focus on them. So those guys might spin off and come through here and spin off, and I might want to. I might. I might want to try and handle, two at once. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but for now, again, because I have to get better, faster, and if I'm able to, and depending on how many pages, because if I think I want to keep mines around 68 pages. If I can do two of those a year, then I'll do it. 68-page graphic novels, and only when I have the 68-page giant size editions coming in, the with first editions or special editions where there's some big epic incident where I have to have some giant size issue happen, then that will expand the graphic novel to a larger size. But for the main, for my main graphic novel size, I want to keep it around 68 pages. Like Ethan keeps his around 48 pages. I want to keep mine around 68, having three single issues in a graphic novel. So the first graphic novel will have 3 issues, and then the second will have 3 issues. The first one's going to have guaranteed 68-page giant size first issue edition, and then 2 follow-up 24 pages. So altogether, it's going to have 68 and a 48. And even though it might be 22 and 26 or 20 and 28, or it's going to have at least 48 and 68 pages, adding up to 116 pages. And that might go up, fluctuate in total, depending on the storyline, and to the maximum of around 120 pages max. So we're gonna have at least 116 pages to 120, and that's probably gonna, the 68 page probably won't get any bigger, but it's possible that the second two, one of the second two, or both of the second two could get bigger by 1 or 2 pages, depending on my story. Because, like I said, we're bringing in bad guys. We got a large rogues gallery. We've got a main bad guy group called the Guild, who's got a group of bad guys who's going to be in there all the time. That's going to be a main focus bad guy group throughout the duration of this storyline, especially having to do with the Illuminati groups. So we're going to have a lot of guys working with that. Okay. And again, eventually, I want to have a group that has nothing to do. I want to have a comic book that has nothing to do with the Might universe. That's called Afrocentrics. And that's going to be more comical, more funny. And I'm going to bring in a younger superhero called Samson and Pitbull, and that's going to probably be in the Might universe. And then I'm going to have the Young Crime Fighters League. That's not the name. I've got a bunch of names, but that's not the name. It might be called Juvenile Justice, something like that, or something to that nature. Young something. So anyway, or kid something. We're gonna work on that. I got a bunch of names that I've already chosen. Group, at least a handful of names that I'm gonna choose between. So, but yeah, that's for now. So we're gonna have characters like Cube Squared. He's gonna be a superhero. He's artificial intelligence is gonna have to do with artificial intelligence, not exactly artificial intelligence. It's kind of misleading. So it has to do with, it's more focused on something else, but it has artificial intelligence in all around his whole thing. But that's gonna be coming in the pages of Might. You're gonna see the origin of this character in the pages of Might. Whether he spins off or not, I don't know. We're gonna have his own bad guys, so it might be a situation where he'll spin off from Might somewhere down the line, third or fourth book. Uh, Mega, he's gonna be coming into the pages of Might. You're gonna see him in the beginning in the first book, and even Cube Squared, he's gonna be in the first book, and maybe in the second book, we're gonna have this demigod show his face. Playmate, we don't know if he's gonna be a bad guy, a good guy, but he's gonna be coming in, and he's gonna start off a little younger, and yeah, he's gonna have this crazy origin story. Well, not really an origin story, because I'm not sure if he's gonna be where he's a natural ability or something made him that way. So I'm not sure yet, but he's going to be down the line, maybe in the second or third book. And the God Tomb, where I said this God Tomb, well, this comes a little bit from my youth, because I used to play in the back this Naval Veterans Hospital. They had barracks back there, and we used to play all kinds of like tag and stuff like that. and there was this big hole in the floor at one of the barracks, and it was huge. It was like 10 feet maybe. So it was bigger than me at the time. I was just this little kid, maybe seventh, eighth grade. And so I always wondered what was downstairs. We could never find a staircase that led down there. So I was thinking about that, and I came up with this idea for a story called God Tomb. Down, imagine us playing in this barracks, and we get a rope, and we go down in there to find out what's down in this hole in the ground, and or hole in the floor in the barracks, and we find down there this tomb. It kind of beckons us, and we go into the tomb, and it kind of, after some things, I mentioned this in one of the earlier, I talked about the whole complete story uh, in one of the earlier story times. So I should have pulled it. Maybe I will, or I'll just do a story time mini instead of a live stream. I'll do a video, and I'll explain it, and I'm gonna put it out there again. So God tomb is these kids come across this tomb, grants them abilities, and then they have to suffer through with what they do with the abilities that they have. And the God tomb doesn't care if you're good or evil; it just grants you abilities. Something like Twilight Zone, and that's what I was intending. Every issue of Might, I would come up with a God tomb story as a free book, and every book would be a one hitter quitter storyline where it would go to a different location, grant abilities, and different things would happen according, with the people that he's dealing with. So with the tomb is dealing with, it grants you abilities, so it would give you different things, so uh, and different things would happen. You would, some depending on the person trying to use their abilities, certain things would happen. And so anyway, I folded this God tomb into the Mike story because Mike has, I mentioned it earlier, Mike's going to have this magical component also, because I want to be able to bring magical characters into it at some point. So we're going to have magical people, we're going to have cosmic characters, we're going to have all of these things. Everything that you're going to be missing from the woke mainstream, none of those great stories like back in the days, in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s and 60s and before, the golden age, the silver age, and the bronze age of comics. I'm going to try my best to bring them all to you. You're going to be witnessing all of this stuff is going to be coming your way. So, okay, that's Mike. So then we're going to be bringing something else to you guys. We're going to move on to a second story. Is Man's Womb. I had come up with this a while ago. It's sort of another justice warrior. That's why I call Just Us Warriors. This is like the storyline. I have another one that I was working on called the El Fiches or something like that. And then there was a third. Hold on a second. Let me hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. Okay. There's a third one where I was gonna try and get in contact with a bunch of the Comics Gate guys and have a bunch of superheroes come together and fight. Well, it's like 3 generations of superheroes, right? And the last generation are a bunch of woke idiots. And they're basically doing the same thing that the SJWs are doing today. So I got these Just Us Warriors stories, and one of them is um, the superhero story. I'm going to flush it out a little bit more. All of that's going to be coming in future story times. I think I also mentioned it on past story time, but we're going to be working. We're not going to be I don't know if we're going to be continuing with the El Fishi stories, but we're definitely going to be uh, pulling forward with this Just Us Man's Womb story. Now, this story is a story that happens in present day, and SJW craziness, amongst the SJW craziness, and how it turns men's rights into a joke, and how the so-called phenomenon of the incel grows to become the threat feminists use to create a scenario that spirals out of control and brings about the downfall of society as we know it. So it starts out uh, in the 2020 elections that just passed. Yes, right. Trump wins. Riots immediately break out, and all of that stuff happens, uh, uh, except for it's with the left. It's with the left, the whole insurrection and all of that stuff like that. Even though I created this story before that happened, I was doing this story before that whole insurrection thing, before January. I was doing this back in let me see, is there a date on here? No, I don't think there is a date when I first created it. But anyway, I created this back in October, November, easily. And I just didn't figure out how I wanted to. I think I talked about it 3 or 4 months back in one of these live streams. But anyway, I'm going to be bringing you 10, 15-minute videos pulling forward from this story. And and I might do some drawing, but probably not, because this is more or less, it's not, it's more realistic type story, and I more or less like comic book type stuff or supernatural, whether it be zombies or, well, I'm not really into zombies as far as drawing them, but werewolf, vampires, any supernatural stuff, demonic, demonology type stuff, demon type stuff, any type of supernatural demon stuff, um, alien stuff. That's what I'm into. Alien, futuristic, any of that stuff. I got a broad spectrum of things that I like. So, except for horror, I'm not really into horror. Well, I love horror as far as watching it, but I don't know if I could tell a decent horror story, because you have to really have timing and all of this stuff to know when to deliver the punch, and you have to build the suspense. So I don't know whether I have that. So I don't really have any horror stories, even though my demon stuff is more or less just coming right at you. It's not really where I'm trying to make you jump out of your seat. I'm more or less just trying to put together scenarios of good and evil fighting each other. So anyway, in this story, this is more or less a real story. Like, I have another story where the end of the world, where humankind know that the end is coming, and they kind of hide it. The government hides it from people, and this reporter or somebody gets out, maybe an assistant to the people hiding the story. He gets out and he's running, he's trying to get the story out, and he basically informs the public what's going on, that the end of the world is imminent, and the people start going after the government and the rich people, and trying to beat them to their bunkers, because they built all these bunkers, and that's why they're keeping us in the dark, so that they have time to get to their bunkers while trying to scavenge as much of the wealth from the people as possible. So anyway, that's another story. That's more realistic base. It's super. It's stuff happens that's out of the ordinary, but it's more or less based in a realistic realm. There's no supernatural creatures or anything like that. And that's the same thing with this. This is more based in super, more realistic type things. And see here, this is a the riots begin after Trump wins, and even though it can still go the same way. No, I think I would have it where Trump wins, and basically what happens, rioting begins for like a year of his first term, his second term, his rioting and all kinds of attacks are going against men and especially white people, and but it's against all men because we know this SJW thing is against all men. The way they're trying to moisturize men, that's going to be a new term. I trademarked it, so don't try to steal my shit. Yo, I see a lot of people. I see some people trying to snatch up moist, but I'm going to be coming out with some videos about that. But yeah, so don't try to steal moisturizer. It's copyrighted and trademarked. So yeah, we're gonna have these people all coming out of the woodworks attacking men. They want to try and moisturize black people and black men especially. And so yeah, we have all of this is going to be in this story. This is strictly for story time so that you can see how I tell stories and how I break down my stories and how intense I can get when it comes to telling a story. So that's what this is basically about. These are going to be strictly for story time. We will be coming back with the Bounty Hunters. We're going to be coming back with this story. I've been working on that. We're going to have terror cells, the main terror cell. We're going to have the group. One guy's Ferret. He's the leader. We're going to work on fleshing out more of the story. This is going to be strictly for story time. We're going to be fleshing out more of the story on story time Saturdays. We're going to be Man's Womb, we're going to be bringing out videos during the week and then discussing it on story time. And so that's going to be that. And we're going to be fleshing out more of the Bounty Hunters. This story is going to be trying to get we're going to be working towards this story to get artists to help draw this stuff up and get a campaign out with somebody else, not with me. I can't do all of this drawing. It's too much. But this is going to be, we're going to have stories specifically for story time for people to help create plot twists and plot ideas, and everybody who helps will be a part owner and will get part of the money from the campaigns. It will be, this is what story time is all about. And join the Goddom. The Goddom is all about you guys coming in here and helping create these stories and becoming part of the Goddom, becoming a creator. Like I'm trying to become. I'm trying to become a member of the Goddom. Ethan Van Sciver, John Malin, Frega, all of these people who have had campaigns and who have delivered, these guys are all honorary members of the Goddom. The Goddom is creators who create worlds for people to get lost in. So if you're a world builder, a world creator, you are a demigod. And I'm trying to get there. So this is important to me to become a demigod like these guys I mentioned. So This is why I'm working hard to make sure Mike is a success. I'm flushing out these characters because these characters that I built for Mike, these opening characters were not intended to be my first tier characters. So Mega, he's my first one of my first tier characters. Blackmail, he's one of my first tier characters. So I wanted to come out with characters that I didn't. If somebody tried to steal them, I wouldn't be that upset over them. So, but that's before I learned more about how Comicsgate works and how doing these live streams basically copyrights and trademarks my ideas for me and all of that. So, and not telling too much about the characters also helps me so that if somebody tries to steal my work, once my book drops and you see the complete thought process behind it, you know who's the original and who's not. Hold on, I got a whistling happening here in my nose. Sorry about that. I'm back. So here we go. Yeah, so the Bounty Hunters is going to be regular Saturdays. We're going to be hopefully having more people coming in and either joining in with the live stream and adding their 2 cents or coming into the comment section and adding something, just throwing stuff out. And if we use your idea, I will be writing down your names and your ideas. And if we use your ideas, you're going to be part of the creative unit. You're going to be part of the creative team. And when we send this book to the printers and everything, and to Indiegogo, your name will be included, and you will get a percentage of the royalties. So yeah, that's what our intentions are for the Bounty Hunters and some of these other stories. If we come up with other stories down the line, if you guys come up with other stories down the line that you want to flesh out, uh, we can do that. If you want to do personal, private, where one on one with just me and you, we can work that out and work a storyline and get an artist and do all of that. I'm trying to open up to anybody because I have plenty of characters, plenty of storylines. I'm trying not to put out too many storylines for other people because I have a lot of characters of my own and I don't want to run dry and start using the same character or the same plot lines over and over again. So, but as far as fleshing out characters, and if you bring ideas of your own, I can help, and I can help with some character names and stuff like that, and group names if you want. So, because I know I have so many that I'll never get around to using all of them. So, yeah, that we could do. And yeah, so let's move on to what's next. The bounty hunters. Well, we already hit bounty hunters up, and we've talked about man's womb, and then uh let's see what we are going to want to do next. See how much time we got. Okay, we got plenty of time. So now the pièce de résistance. I had an idea. Let's move on to this Star Wars idea. Um, I had an idea, and let's see. Let's find out. Uh, let's see if Alma Ram, come along with me. Let's see. Um, Here we go. Let's see. Let's skip this. Okay. Now that's Star Wars. He's talking. I don't know if there's any other mention of Darth Plagueis the Wise any other place in Star Wars, but I know that this is mentioned. What happens is the stuff that he talks about here. I think is where they should have gone. Excuse me. Is where they should have gone, or it's a possible. I don't know if anybody else has ever touched on this. I'm not fully familiar with all of the storylines and the hold on. I'm not totally familiar with all of the storylines and the fan fiction that people have come up with as far as Star Wars is concerned. But yeah, listen to this. A Sith legend. So right there. Now this is supposed to be what happened with Anakin, right? Anakin was this supernatural Jesus or Messiah that was born. He didn't have a father. Um, he was supposed to have been this one of these midichlorianized Jedi that was and even in talking, even this part of the movie suggests that Darth Plagueis was the one who created Anakin in the first place, right? So my idea is, why did he stop with just Anakin? And so my first thought was to take it to the obvious next step, which is that he created more, but that more than just Anakin. But I said, hold on a second. That might not make too much sense, because by the time we get to the end of the Jedi, Return of the Jedi, uh, if we want to touch in on all of that and then skip forward into the next, when the sequel series was supposed to start, around the era where Ray comes into it all. I don't know how many years it is, but it seems to be not too far off from when the Jedi left off, 20 years or whatever. Even though now that uh, we know that Leia is gone, they can't never bring Carrie Fisher back to put her in a movie unless they do that computer digital stuff and do that with all of them. We can have that continue, right? Where basically I was thinking that Darth Plagueis created more than just Anakin before Darth Sidious killed, smoked his ass. he murked him. So, but then I said, hold on. That would mean that there would be all of these old ass. Uh, they'd all have to be at least as old as Darth Vader was, and he was pretty old by the end of the Jedi. So I took it to the next step again. I said, the heck with that. What if we, before he murked Darth Plagueis, hold on a second. I'm sorry, people. For some reason, I keep getting this cough. Okay. Okay. Darth Sidious learned. He said he learned. He told Anakin that he learned how to preserve life, even though he's probably lying his ass off in order to manipulate him to do what he needed to do and continue on his path to the dark side of the Force. So I figured maybe, daggone it. Hold on, one more time. One more again. Hold on, people. Hold on. Okay. All right. Now I figured before he murked Darth Plagueis, maybe he did learn how to manipulate midichlorians, right? So throughout his time, throughout Darth Sidious, or what's his name here? Because he is Darth Sidious. The council, what's his name? The counselor, the commander, the supreme commander, or whatever his name of the Republic, the emperor. Before the emperor here gets killed by Darth Vader in the Jedi, he had learned how to manipulate midichlorians just like Darth Plagueis, and before he murked Darth Plagueis, and between the time of him murking Darth Plagueis and getting killed by Darth Vader, he was manipulating some midichlorians of his own. So now, instead of there being just two Sith, we got the Brotherhood of the Sith, where there's multiple Sith without a leader, right? Because the Emperor was their leader. He was the one training them and everything. So I figured you have 3 stories, and this last one I think I want to change, not Dark Rebellion. They have some other kind of rebellion. But we'll have something else. We're gonna come up with another name for this third one. So I was thinking the Brotherhood of the Sith. After Darth Sidious gets killed, the Emperor gets killed. This is what I was writing here. Everything I was just telling y'all, this is what I was writing here. I gotta get back in here. We're gonna be doing these 2 stories on the next story time. We're gonna be finished out. I'm gonna finish out writing this by next week, catching you up to what I just told you, and then from there we're going to actually work on the story next Saturday. So next week we're gonna be working on 2 storylines. We're going to be working on the Bounty Hunters, and we're going to be working on Star Wars. Fan fiction. the sequel stories, the sequel trilogies. And if y'all want to come in and help, y'all can come in and help. But I'm going to break down the whole idea of what this is by next week. I've told y'all a little bit. If y'all think that y'all can come and add next week, come and add. If y'all want to send some stuff, some ideas, send it to indigenous monstrosity at gmail.com. So, yeah. Uh, so you can send your story ideas to indigenous. Hold on. Let's put it right here. Indigenous. That's R. Genus, O-U-S, on monstrosity at indigenous monstrosity at gmail.com. So right there. Hold on, let me see if y'all can see this. How come this was so small? There we go. See? Indigenous monstrosity at gmail.com. I tried to change it to monstrositus X, but this is the original uh, email that I have for the channel. This is the original name, Indigenous Monstrosity with Monstrositus X. That's where I am comes from in the I am Goddamn Comics production. It's I am. That's why I changed my name of the channel to I Monstrositus X so that I could keep the I am, so that I can still say I am Goddamn Comics. I like the way that turned out. So anyway, and I am Goddamn Comics production. So that's why I kept that. So that's the email. If you guys want to add something to the story, from what I told you so far. Otherwise, prepare for next week. We're going to expand on this first story. It's a trilogy, so we're going to expand on this first story, and then we're going to work to the second one. We're going to give a broad, basic outline, and then we're going to try and break it down on both sides because we have to figure out what's going on with the Sith and with the Jedi. Because after that, again, we don't know if we're going to be getting Luke in there as a young motherfucker or right after the Jedi, the Return of the Jedi, or older Luke, so that they can have, because that would be cool to have older Luke and get Mark Hamill in there doing his thing, and yeah, we'll talk about that later. But that's for now. We're gonna have this saved up for next week. We're gonna save all of this for next week, man. We're gonna have these characters. We're gonna be working on not only we're gonna be working on the bounty hunters and the Jedi story. And during the week, I'm going to come out with every week. I'm going to try and bring one video of the man's womb with the story, and then we can talk about it. So we'll have 3 parts to talk about during the live stream next week. We're going to have bounty hunters, man's womb, and the Jedi, and I'm going to have separate videos for Mike. We're going to keep Mike separate, and so that you guys can help with all of these other stories, bounty hunters. You guys can come in and help if you want, because that's going to be cooperative, just like the man's womb. Like I said, I might not draw that. We might not be dealing with that. I don't know. It depends if there's an artist who's been listening and wants to come in and do it. Yeah, then we could put that out as a story on Indiegogo too. And then we got the Star Wars, which is going to be strictly for storytelling, because I don't want to have to deal with any uh, trademarking and licensing. I don't want to have to deal, especially with today's Disney. I don't want to have any dealings with them. This is just an idea for me to put out there, something to do, because I think that what Disney has done to Lucasfilms and is absolutely ridiculous. I think they're destroying the Jedi Star Wars franchise just for the sake of destroying it. So yeah, uh, we've got that coming next week, and from in the next weeks to come, we got a campaign coming. So please keep an eye out for Might. Uh, let's see, 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 let's see. Yeah, so I hope you guys are going to love what I'm bringing to you guys. Subscribe to these two channels, especially this one, because this is where I'm going to try and focus on my might. I'm going to be putting might stuff on both channels because that one, the other channel is a little bit bigger. It's got like 40 subscribers, so maybe you'll be able to get the information out a little bit faster on that channel. But I'm going to be focusing on trying to grow this channel more too, doing more art videos. I'm not too good as a teacher, so I can just show what I do. I don't know if I can do any detail work like telling people how to draw this and being. Hold on. Sorry about that. And to tell people how to draw specifics like perspective and all of that stuff. I don't know how well of a teacher I would be. So I'm just going to be doing some drawings, some character design, stuff like that, and focusing on the storytelling and just drawing. Doing some pages from Mike. Uh, we're going to be doing some page work. You're going to be watching me draw pages over the time that I've, yes, the next year, because it's going to be at least about that long before I can get those 100 pages out. I think, as far as doing all of the work, I'm gonna see about maybe getting in touch with Eric Weathers to do the lettering, because I haven't done any lettering. I don't know what program I can use. I might try to see if I can use this Inkscape, because I think it's sort of the same type of program. So I'll see if I can use that. If not, I'll see if I can use the balloons and stuff in Clip Studios. So maybe I can create my own lettering. It's just 28 letters with an alphabet, and then any type of any type of customized stuff I'll just do myself. So we'll see about the lettering and see how that works. And but yeah, for now, this is basically Monstrosities X letting y'all know where I'm at as far as our stories are going to be coming from now on. We're going to be doing, like I said, we'll be, let me see, let's share this again. You're going to keep an eye out for, let's keep an eye out for, do, 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 do. Keep an eye out for Just Us Warriors. Let's see if I'm getting, yeah. Keep an eye out for Justice Warriors, Man's Womb. This is like a sub story. There's going to be a Justice Warriors and with a superhero story. There's going to be a Just Us Warriors superhero story where there's going to be 3 generations of superheroes. The first generation is going to have these be a regular story, and then they're going to have this epic fight, epic blowout thing, and then the next generation is going to come up. The children of that generation is going to come up, and they're going to have an epic incident but it's not going to be as serious as the first one. It's like as time goes by, it's like they're solving all of the problems, so there's less need for superheroes. So the events are not as epic, not as major, not as world threatening as back in the day. And then the third generation is going to be a bunch of these soft ass, moist ass SJW superheroes that's basically doing the same thing that these writers and creators in Marvel and DC are doing, damning the people that they depend on to create because they can't. And so that's what this story is going to be. We're going to create a name for it, and we're going to call it Just Us Warriors, something else. Uh, heroes, 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 heroes plight, heroes plight. Yeah, we'll probably call it Heroes Plight. And we're gonna have to erase all of that. And then, hold on, maybe we can do it here and there. No, we'll do that another time. We'll do that off, and we'll come in and make this all up, tighten it up, and so that on Saturdays we can work on these three stories. It's gonna be Heroes Plight, Man's Womb, and well, it's gonna be four. It's gonna be a bunch. We'll alternate, or we'll do two a week, and we'll alternate every other week. Man's Womb, Heroes Plight, the Bounty Hunters, and the Star Wars story. And we'll have two that can become comic books. Bounty Hunters and Heroes Plight. That way it keeps my interest more peaked with super abilities and all of that. And yeah, so the Bounty Hunters will be the next that we'll be worried about. And Star Wars, Brotherhood of the Sith. Again, if you guys want to contribute and help, add story, or if you guys are artists and you want to contribute in any kind of way, and you want to show me some of your artwork, I would send it to right here, indigenousmonstrosity@gmail.com. So for now, people, I'm going to say this is enough for now. I've been on here 2 hours, and well, a little bit short of 2 hours because I know I started a little late. But we're going to call it an end and wrap it up for story time. And come back to us next week, and we'll have more for you. Later, y'all. I'm out. Oh, yeah. Praise the Goddom. Praise Goddom Comics.